Hey guys, what is up? I am TJ. This is Uncommon, and so are you. Hey guys, welcome to this week's edition of Uncommon Live, where every Thursday we kind of step in here and talk about a couple of topics, maybe husband, dad, or leader, or even a miscellaneous. This week, we're talking to dads. And if you're new to Uncommon, we encourage men to be the husband, the dad, or leader you were always meant to be. And so we have some supportive information in the description of the video below, which you can look at any time in the future. So let's just get into it, right? So this week's title is How Dad You? A little play on words on how dare you, right? And so as long as there have been dads, there's been the giving of advice by dad. And so giving advice as a dad, sometimes it should be in the Constitution and listed as a God-given right. I mean, after all, how are we supposed to fix all the world's problems if we don't let you know, right? That's how it feels sometimes. And so, in case you're just starting off as a dad, or some are doing research to stay ahead of the curve, some are vets and have been at this for a very long time, and some have even turned pro. At the end of the day, most dads give advice because we want to help and we love. And we've been through a few things that we want you to avoid. Now, there's something to be said for letting your children struggle through some things, kind of like a butterfly leaving the cocoon, right? Now, that transformation. If you were watching a butterfly, the natural reaction would be to let me help you out of that cocoon. But if you do that, the butterfly's wings do not fully develop and it will struggle to fly. Interesting factoid for you. But what usually happens is our children go through phases. And when they need our advice, or they don't listen to our advice, or they want our advice, and it may not be asked for. So the sad fact is dads probably don't adjust our advice for any of those phases, and we just fire off pearls of wisdom from the hip, just looking for someone to ask for more. So as I was doing some research around this topic, I ran across a poll, and the question was, do you like unsolicited advice? And the three choices were yes, no, and only if the right person gives it. So this was on another person's site. It was actually a psychology site, and he was talking about some of the variables around this, but it got me interested in the results. Over 800 people took part in this little poll. Now, 6%, remember, the question was, do you like unsolicited advice? 6% said yes. I assume these people also love the DMV and jury duty, because I'm not quite sure I know of anyone who loves to get unsolicited advice. But 6% said yes. 56% said no. Keep it to yourself. And 38% said only if the right person gives it. And thinking about it a little bit more, I don't think that it's just a matter of the right person saying it. It's also a matter of the right time in the right way, which could lead into a whole mentor conversation, but that is for another day. So if you're a dad, you've probably been told by your children or been told, that you told your children rather, to clean up their room about 3.2 million times. And what happens? It falls on deaf ears, it goes in one ear, out the other, etc. And then one day, their uncle is at the house and says to your children, let's help your parents clean up your room. It will probably benefit you and them. The next day, you look at your child's room and it's clean. And you're like, what? What in the world happened? You may think that it's all about who said it, but it seems to be what, how, and when they said it. Dads, we need to get better at what we say, and when we say it, and how we say it. Even listening to someone read a text with sass. I know of a person who their superpower is to put sass on text. And if you're familiar with the Comedy Central show Key and Peele, they have a great skit on text being taken out of context. Now, it is R-rated, so be mindful. There's a lot of cursing in that. But if you can find one that's clean, it is hysterical. So we've identified that we need to watch the what, the when, and the how. But what if I told you that wasn't enough? That we're going to have to get used to not giving advice at all. I know, crazy, right? World in chaos, I get it. But our children will get to an age they no longer want unsolicited advice. Now, that may be difficult to swallow, but it's going to have to happen. And they may ask for advice, but don't overdo it when you give it. But then we can give it solid, godly, wise counsel, which, we can put a pin in that right there, doesn't always happen. Usually when we give advice, it has a little bit of an agenda to it. It has a little bit of fear to it, a little bit of persuasion to it. And so it may not need that. But when we do give advice, don't harp on it. Let your yes be yes and your no be no. If they ask for advice, simply give an example of an experience that you've gone through and they've been able to relate to. Share it without an agenda. If you don't, please don't make something up or guess. Tell them you don't know. Even though you think, or we think, I'm supposed to know everything as a dad. There is no shame in saying, I don't know about that, but I can look into it, or better yet, I will pray about it. So, our truth and grace segment. We could still advise our children, but we must wait for them to ask. If you are a trustworthy resource, they will ask. If you are a goofball, buffoon, or rage monster, they will seek advice elsewhere. Proverbs 19, 20, 21. Listen to advice and accept instruction that you may gain wisdom in the future. Many are the plans in the mind of a man, but it is the purpose of the Lord that will stand. So, the challenge is, and it's a tough one, you can't teach an old dog a new trick, but learning a new trick is just what we need to do. That trick is called wisdom. So whether you are just starting out, in the middle of your dadship, or at the end of or back end of the golf course analogy, the back nine, it's still wise to give good, wise, godly counsel when it is asked for. So I hope this resonates. If you are a dad, this is probably ringing in your ears right now. And if it's not, it should be, because it was for me. So thank you for joining us today. I hope this has been a blessing to someone who needed to hear it. And with that being said, since you're going to be something, be uncommon.